Deep in the Florida Everglades, scientists stumbled upon a chilling mystery: thousands of dead Burmese pythons, each one beheaded. These massive snakes, top predators and invasive giants, were found scattered across the swamps, their headless bodies a shocking sight. The pattern was unmistakable, every python killed in the same precise way. Burmese pythons, over 15 feet long and strong enough to eat alligators, have few natural enemies in Florida. So, what could possibly be powerful or daring enough to systematically hunt and decapitate these formidable snakes? The Everglades had become the scene of a real-life wildlife whodunit. The scale was staggering, not just a handful, but thousands of pythons, all killed with surgical precision. Scientists were baffled. Was this the work of a new predator, or a familiar animal with a deadly new skill? The mystery gripped the scientific community, hinting at a dramatic shift in the Everglades' delicate balance. Solving this puzzle could reveal a hidden story about nature's resilience and the ongoing battle for survival in Florida's wild heart. The case of the beheaded pythons was more than a curiosity. It was a clue to a much larger story. To understand the shock of the dead pythons, you need to know why Burmese pythons are such a problem in Florida. Originally from Southeast Asia, these snakes became invasive after being released by pet owners in a hurricane-damaged breeding facility. With no natural predators and a perfect climate, their numbers exploded, devastating native wildlife. Pythons eat almost anything: birds, mammals, even alligators. In some areas, native species like raccoons and opossums have nearly vanished. The ecosystem is out of balance, with pythons outcompeting native predators and threatening endangered species. Florida spends millions trying to control them, but adult pythons are nearly unbeatable, until now. Even alligators sometimes lose to these muscular constrictors. That's why the discovery of thousands of dead, beheaded pythons was so astonishing. It suggested something in the Everglades had finally found a way to fight back. For the first time, the hunter had become the hunted. The mystery hinted at a turning point in Florida's long struggle against this invasive menace. Could nature itself be mounting a counterattack? The search for answers was on. Scientists approached the python deaths like a crime scene investigation. Each carcass was a clue. Teams scoured the swamps for evidence: tracks, fur, feathers, anything that might reveal the killer. Necropsies revealed precise wounds at the neck, and some bodies were partially buried. A behavior called caching, typical of certain predators. The Everglades' vast wild terrain made the search challenging, but every detail was documented. The evidence pointed to a smart, strong predator. Not a giant, but one with skill and strategy. Caching and the targeted attacks suggested a member of the cat family. The killer seemed to know exactly how to disable a dangerous opponent. With a profile emerging, the next step was clear: catch the culprit in the act. Scientists turned to technology, setting up camera traps to solve the mystery once and for all. The hunt for the Everglades' new top predator was on. Would the cameras finally reveal the python slayer? The answer was closer than anyone expected. Camera traps captured the breakthrough moment. The mysterious python killer wasn't a monster or a pack of alligators. It was the bobcat, a native wildcat about twice the size of a house cat. Footage showed bobcats feeding on python carcasses, raiding nests, and even dragging away headless snakes. The evidence was clear: bobcats, weighing just 20 to 30 pounds, were taking on and defeating giant pythons. This was a stunning twist. A native species, once prey, had become a predator of the invaders. Scientists celebrated. For the first time, a native animal was systematically hunting and killing invasive pythons. Bobcats weren't just scavenging, they were actively hunting, raiding nests, and eating eggs. The Everglades had a new hero, and nature was fighting back. The balance of power was shifting, and the bobcat was leading the charge. The mystery was solved, but the story was just beginning. One case brought the bobcat's new role into sharp focus: the story of Loki, a massive radio-tracked Burmese python. Loki, a 13-foot, 52-pound scout snake, was being monitored by scientists to help control the python population. When Loki's transmitter stopped moving, researchers found his headless body, cached under leaves, classic signs of the mysterious predator. A trail camera soon captured the culprit, an adult bobcat returning to feed on Loki's remains. Lab analysis found bobcat claw tips embedded in the python's flesh, confirming the cat's role in the kill. A 25-pound bobcat had taken down a snake twice its weight. Loki's story was a dramatic example of how native predators were turning the tables on Florida's most feared invaders. The evidence was undeniable. Bobcats were now formidable python hunters. The Everglades battle had a new chapter, and the underdog was winning. Loki's fate became a symbol of nature's surprising resilience. The message was clear. Adaptation was happening right before our eyes. The python's reign was no longer unchallenged. The Everglades had a new contender. How does a small bobcat defeat a giant python? The answer: timing and adaptation. Pythons are cold-blooded. When temperatures drop, they become sluggish and vulnerable. Bobcats, warm-blooded and agile, stay active even in the cold. During Florida's rare cold snaps, pythons slow down, giving bobcats the perfect opportunity to strike. The case of Loki happened after a cold front, when the big snake was too sluggish to defend itself. Researchers noticed more python deaths after cold weather. Native predators were learning to exploit this weakness. Even black bears have been implicated in python kills during cold spells. Florida's winters, once just a seasonal change, have become a critical battleground in the fight against invasive snakes. Native animals are adapting, turning the tables on the invaders. The cold is now an unexpected ally in the Everglades war. Nature is learning, and the balance is shifting. The python's greatest strength, its size, is no match for a clever, well-timed attack. The bobcat's strategy is as smart as it is brutal. Go for the head. By targeting the python's head, the bobcat disables its most dangerous weapons, its bite and its crushing coils. Attacking the body would risk a deadly counterattack, but a swift bite to the neck paralyzes the snake instantly. This decapitation method is a calculated move, minimizing risk and maximizing success. Bobcats didn't evolve to hunt giant snakes, but they've quickly adapted, identifying the python's weak spot. It's a remarkable example of animal intelligence and survival instinct. The Everglades bobcats have become tactical hunters, turning a deadly invader into a new food source. Their method is both efficient and effective, a testament to nature's ability to adapt. The python's reign of terror is being challenged by a clever native. In the wild, brains can beat brawn. The bobcat's strategy is a lesson in adaptation and survival. The rise of the bobcat as a python hunter is more than a fascinating story. It's a sign of hope for Florida's ecosystem. For years, pythons devastated native wildlife, but now, nature is pushing back. Bobcats have shown that native species can adapt, turning a threat into an opportunity. If other predators, like black bears or even panthers, follow suit, the Everglades could regain some balance. Bobcats alone won't solve the python problem. There are simply too many snakes. But they're a vital, new ally. The fight will still require human effort, but now, nature has a partner in the battle. Protecting bobcats and their habitats could become a key part of python management. The Everglades story isn't over, but for the first time, there's real hope. The home team is finally scoring. Nature, it seems, always finds a way.